On September 30th, 1919, the Elaine race riot, also called the Elaine Massacre, took place in the vicinity of Elaine in rural Phillips County, Arkansas on this date in 1919, with a total of 5 whites and estimates of at least 100 and possibly hundreds of blacks killed in white rioting in the county. It was the deadliest racial conflict in United States history. Located in the Arkansas Delta, the county had been developed for cotton plantations, worked by black American slaves. Its population was still overwhelmingly black. Black Americans outnumbered whites in the area around Elaine by a 10-to-1 ratio, and by 3-to-1 in the county overall. Descendants of the enslaves, most blacks worked as sharecroppers. White landowners controlled the economic power, selling cotton on their own schedule, running high-priced plantation stores where farmers had to buy seed and supplies, and failing to itemize their settlement of accounts with sharecroppers. The Progressive Farmers and Household Union of America had organized chapters in the Elaine area in 1918 to 1919. On September 29th, representatives met with about 100 black farmers at a church near Elaine to discuss how to obtain fairer settlements. Whites resisted any union organizing in the Delta and often spied on or disrupted such meetings. In a confrontation at the church, 2 whites were shot, 1 fatally. More violence quickly broke out, with the sheriff calling a posse and whites gathering to put down a rumored black insurrection. Other whites entered Phillips County, making a mob of 500 to 1,000 whites, who roamed in groups attacking blacks on sight. The governor called in 500 federal troops, who arrested nearly 260 blacks and were accused of killing some. The events have been subject to debate, especially the total of black fatalities, as residents were killed through a wide area. Over a 3-day period, 5 white men were killed, an estimated 100 to 240 blacks, with some estimates of more than 800 blacks killed. The only men prosecuted for these events were 122 black Americans, with 73 charged with murder. 12 were quickly convicted and sentenced to death by all-white juries for murder of the first white deputy at the church. Others were as rapidly convicted of lesser charges and sentenced to prison. During appeals, the death penalty cases were separated, with 6 convictions being overturned at the state level, known as Ware et al., because of technical trial details. These 6 defendants were quickly retried in 1920 and convicted again, but the state Supreme Court overturned the verdicts based on violations of the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution and the Civil Rights Act of 1875, due to exclusion of blacks from the juries. The lower courts failed to retry the men within the 2 years required by Arkansas law, and the defense gained their release in 1923. The 6 other death penalty cases, known as Moore et al., ultimately reached